This is from the fourth book in the Three Creeks, Montana series, Home for Good. And a high school reunion brings two high school sweethearts back together. And it's chapter The Prodigal Son. Brock stood beside his father. The air of appreciation as he admired the neatly swathed rows of hay made him glad to be home. The fragrance of the alfalfa permeated the air, adding to the experience. Promises of a good crop had never been made, and Stanley had taught his sons to appreciate the times when they were good. He pointed at the rows. I bet we'll get at least 30 bales from that field alone. His father had been farming for so long, Brock knew better than to second-guess him. He inhaled deeply, forcing himself to relax. His current circumstances differed in so many ways from when he was in the Middle East. Yet, the tension that accompanied helping someone who worked in a direct contradiction of a terrorist organization remained. His mind drifted to Isaac, one of the many farmers he helped, and Brock couldn't help wondering how he was doing. If he calculated correctly, Isaac would have been in his 6th year of wheat farming. Brock nodded his agreement and returned to the cathartic task of sweeping the remnants of his mowing from the sidewalk. Sometimes doing a job with immediate results soothed the soul. I bet you're hankering to get that tractor. Garth stuffed something from the kitchen in his mouth. He didn't see what it was, but if Brock were to guess, he'd say it was a baked good they'd fought over when they were younger. If you need me in a tractor, I'll drive a tractor. He shrugged and swept away the grass in front of him. If you need me sweeping the walk, I'll sweep the walk. He diverted his attention to the place in his mind where he didn't need to think. Brock? His father. Even though Brock heard his father say his name, it took a minute for it to register that he wanted an answer. He looked up to see Garth and his father's concerned faces. He retraced his steps to make sure he hadn't done a poor job. It looked good to him. A couple more swipes of the broom and he'd be done. Yeah, Dad? Something's not right. Is everything okay? He perused the area to figure out what his father saw. It looked good to him. Am I missing something? No, the work is good. You sure you're all right? With the thumb in his pockets, Garth mirrored the curious glances his father threw in Brock's direction. As good as can be expected, what's next on the to-do list? Brock watched the silent conversation, the head tilt, followed by an eyebrow raise, and then the lips forming a thin line. Stanley turned to Brock. He raised a finger as he counted off the discrepancies in what they expected and what Brock had done. You didn't touch your breakfast. Your head has been in the clouds all morning. Garth tried to start an argument, and not that I mind, you let it drop. Lastly, this is the cleanest our driveway has ever been. What is eating at you? I'm just trying to sort through things. I thought going to help Katie with her woman problems would have started to mend things. He swiped at a piece of grass with the broom. I even said I was trying to be a better friend. He told Hagen that he prayed for Katie, and Brock had. Instead of rekindling the relationship between Brock and Katie, it became the launch of a friendship between Brock and her son Hagen. It isn't because of Garth? Why would you think that? It was always in the back of my mind that you left to get away from your brother. That is why I left. How did I get dragged into this? Garth threw his hands in the air. I thought maybe your brother was having second thoughts about coming home, Stanley admitted. You two are more like the odd couple that never figured out how to work together. He addressed Brock. What have you done to convince Katie that you have good intentions? He wasn't about to tell his father that he visited the one aisle they made it a mission to avoid in the grocery store. Well, I realized I came on too strong at the beginning, so I backed off. Let her know that I wanted to be her friend too, that I'd be there to support her. Are you? Well, yeah. Have you tried the truth? Stanley suggested. The truth? That while you're good with farms and logistics and moving around a lot, you don't know a dang thing about being in a relationship with women. It's that simple? Sure. Women love it when men are honest. We go around acting like we know everything when it's obvious to them that we don't know more than a hill of beans about relationships. Garth craned his head as though the information was new to him too. Their father continued with his point. It makes them feel more compassionate towards us when we mess up. Brock pinched his chin while he mentally digested his father's guide to a happy marriage. By the way, I've missed you, son. When you're around, I feel like a father again. His abrupt change in tone triggered something in both Brock and his brother. Garth blurted, You're kidding, right? I didn't mean it the way you're taking it. Well, how else am I supposed to take it? Garth's face grew redder with the escalating tension. I'm the one that's been here all my life. I'm the one that's seen the bad years and stayed. Yet he comes back and you act like the prince's return to the castle. Now, son, take it easy. That's not how it was intended at all. I appreciate you being here, and a day doesn't go by without me thanking the good Lord for the privilege of being able to work with you. What I meant was, it's good to feel needed. I need you. Garth's voice rose like his father's treatment of Brock hurt his feelings. Well, you don't act like it. Every time I try to say something to help you, you act like I've insulted your dignity. Stanley's voice conveyed acceptance that came with years of contemplation of the situation. That is not true. Stanley looked at Garth over the top of his glasses. Okay, he exhaled his surrender to his father's point. I was trying to prove to you that I could handle the responsibility. There was never any doubt over your ability to handle all that comes with the farm. It's working with people that makes me worry. And you're just telling me this now? I've been saying it all along. This is the first time you've listened. While we're on the topic, I have something I need to tell you boys. The sparkle in their father's eyes dimmed, and his jaw tightened. Brock knew the look. It was the face he wore when they were younger, and they were about to be grounded after a phone call from the teacher. Whatever it was, Stanley Buchanan meant business. And I'm going to stop here because I want you to read the story.